여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon-soa and this is K-Culture Dive. Join us in taking a deep dive into the heart of Korean culture, from K-entertainment to AI news, K-culture and photos, and our K-food segment topic today is Ramyeon. And with that, let's dive in. Joining us on today's show is Walter Lee. Walter, happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday, Soa, and yes, happy Monday to everyone joining us on the K-Culture Dive. Today I'm Walter Lee, and I'll be co-host and bringing you the latest in K-entertainment stories.
All right, let's dive into K-enter news then, Walter. So first up, we're taking a look at some spooky news in the K-horror genre.
We are indeed, Soa. So, yes, Salmokji, or Whispering Water in English, has set a new record of becoming the second highest grossing horror film in Korean box office history. Now, this is overtaking another popular horror movie called Gonjiam, or Haunted Asylum. According to the Korean Films Council Integrated Ticketing Network, Salmokji, directed by Lee Sang-min, surpassed 3 million moviegoers on Sunday. Now, Salmokji tells the story of strange and terrifying incidents unfolding at a reservoir surrounded by dark legends. Now, since premiering on April 8th, the film has dominated the box office and maintained strong momentum through enthusiastic word of mouth. It has now been watched by around 4 times its break-even target of 800,000 viewers.
Wow, and now moving from a movie that's driving box office success to a boy group that's generating a lot of economic success. BTS, who else?
Yes.
They're still on their world tour, and it looks like wherever they go, they seem to be making a big economic impact. Tell us more.
Indeed, so much so that they now have coined a new term called BTSnomics or BTSnomics, whichever way you want to call it. That's a phenomenon. On Saturday, Big Hit Music stated that BTS are demonstrating an economic influence comparable to mega pop star Taylor Swift's Taylonomics. Now, BTS are in the middle of their Arirang World Tour, as someone just mentioned, with a total of 85 concerts across 34 cities worldwide. Industry experts believe the tour will generate large-scale consumer spending beyond the music industry. This is including tourism, hospitality, and also retail.
So, Walter, could you tell us how much of a revenue we're talking about?
We're talking massive numbers. So Reuters projected that the BTS World Tour could generate approximately 1.8 billion US dollars. Now, in total revenue, which is similar to Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. And it's also similar to Coldplay's Music of the Spheres World Tour. Now, in particular, the agency estimated that BTS's 3 concerts in Mexico alone are expected to generate approximately 107.5 million US dollars in economic impact.
Incredible. And now, Walter, last but not least, we're going to talk about Lisa and soccer.
Yes, indeed we are. Those two don't usually go together, but today they do. US sports publication The Athletic reported on Friday local time that Lisa had reached an agreement with FIFA to perform at one of the opening games at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, scheduled for next month. Since the World Cup will be co-hosted by the United States, Canada and Mexico, opening ceremonies are expected to take place in all 3 countries.
And we are, of course, talking about Blackpink's Lisa. I should have mentioned that. But when exactly is Lisa going to perform?
Okay, so according to the report, Lisa will perform before the United States v Paraguay match at Sophie Stadium in Los Angeles County. Fellow performers are expected to include Katy Perry, Future and Sanjoy. In Toronto, the opening event is set to feature Michael Bublé, Alanis Morissette and Alicia Cara. Meanwhile, performers at Mexico's Estadio Azteca are expected to include Mané, Alejandro Fernandez and Belinda. Now, Lisa will be the second K-pop artist to appear on the World Cup opening stage. Previously, Jungkook from BTS performed the official World Cup song Dreamers during the opening ceremony of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar.
All right, thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
And now we move on to our AI anchor Arang for more on the culture front. Arang.
Thanks, Swa. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. A 628-year-old royal appointment decree issued by King Taejo of Joseon has been unveiled to the public for the first time. The 1398 Hwangji, a royal document used in the early Joseon era to appoint senior officials or deliver royal orders, is now on display at the National Library of Korea. Library officials said the artifact had previously been unknown to scholars and carries significant historical value for research into the early Joseon government and personnel system. Alongside the Hwangji, the library is also showcasing other rare historical texts at its old and rare collection room, which will be open to the public through March 21st, next year. The Culture Ministry will hold a commemorative event on Friday at Gyeongbokgung Palace to mark the birthday of King Sejong the Great. Designated a National Commemorative Day in 2024, the day honors King Sejong's birth on May 15, 1397, and his legacy. The event, set to begin at 6 p.m. at Hungnaemun Square, will be hosted by actor Yoo Seung-young and feature a variety of events, such as traditional arts performances and contemporary reinterpretations of Korean dance. The ceremony will also include awards recognizing contributions to the Korean language, Hangul, along with a wide range of public exhibitions and interactive programs. Those wishing to attend can apply online through the ministry's website, www.mcsd.go.kr. Korea Heritage Service Chief Min has reaffirmed that a heritage impact assessment is required for the high-rise project near Jongmyo Shrine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. He warned that the Heritage Agency would take additional action if Seoul City officials proceed with project approval without complying with the assessment order. Last week, the Heritage Agency sent an official notice to the Seoul City government ordering an impact assessment in its first administrative action over the planned high-rise redevelopment near Jongmyo. Much attention is now on Seoul City's response, as the city government pushes to finalize the project. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
Through a single photo at a time, we take a closer look at culture in Korea. This is K-Culture in Photos. In Korean, the word for garden is 정원. And this spring, gardens are becoming some of Korea's most popular cultural spaces. These first photos show the Seoul International Garden Show, where huge crowds gather to enjoy flower displays, relax outdoors, and even listen to orchestra performances held at the gardens. And over at the Chara Sunflower Festa, visitors walked through stunning fields of bright red flowers stretching across the landscape. Meanwhile, in Jeonju, the Garden Industry Expo brought together families, gardeners, and plant lovers, with people taking photos among the trees and shopping for plants and gardening items. In fact, garden culture has become so trendy in Korea that even garden goods are now gaining popularity. And finally, these photos from Changdeokgung Palace show visitors quietly walking through the palace gardens, enjoying a slower and more traditional side of Korea's garden culture. From modern flower festivals to historic palace grounds, Korea is finding new ways to connect people with nature through gardens. This photo shows one of the most unusual temple ceremonies Korea has seen in recent years. At Seoul's Jogesa Temple, a humanoid robot officially received Buddhist precepts and was given the Buddhist name Kabi. Look closely. The robot monk is walking confidently among human monks. And during the ceremony, Kabi answered, "Yes, I will," to questions about following Buddhist teaching, and even received a special version of Buddhism's 5 precepts designed for robots, including respecting life, not damaging other robots or objects, and conserving energy without overcharging. The ceremony was held ahead of Buddha's birthday, with the temple saying the event symbolized the harmony between tradition and future technology.
In Korea, people often shorten digital camera to Tika. And lately, these older cameras are making a surprising comeback among younger generations. These photos show young consumers browsing for compact digital cameras while others take nostalgic-looking selfies with the signature flash and grainy image quality that smartphones usually try to avoid. For many young people, the charm of these cameras is exactly that imperfect retro feeling. Some people even decorate their camera, bring them to gatherings with friends, and share photos taken with older 2000s era devices. And on a related note, retro electronics in general are also gaining popularity in Korea. These photos were taken at a Korea electronics company's retro-themed exhibition space in Seoul. Here, visitors can explore vintage-inspired TVs, radios, and audio devices. And finally, these retro-style washing machines, desk fans, and wired vacuum cleaners reflect another reason behind the trend. Many consumers say older-style appliances feel simpler, sturdier, and more reliable, while also bringing a sense of nostalgia and comfort. We cross the street almost every day without thinking much about it. But some crosswalks here are becoming a little more playful and creative. This first photo shows a safety message painted directly onto the street. 양옆을 살펴요, reminding pedestrians to look both ways before crossing. And these next crosswalks feature bird footprints and human footprints designed into the pavement. They almost turn an ordinary street crossing into something that feels playful and interactive, encouraging people to slow down, notice their surroundings, and enjoy small moments during the day. And finally, this Nido crosswalk or Metamon crosswalk appeared in Seoul's Jamsil district during a Pokemon-themed event. The bright character crossing quickly became a popular photo spot for visitors and Pokemon fans alike. There are small details perhaps, but they add a little fun and personality to everyday streets. Together, these photos offered a small glimpse into the imagination, nostalgia, and everyday charm of life in Korea.
The popularity of K-Ramyeon, Koreans' favorite instant noodles, now goes far beyond Korea as it continues to captivate taste buds around the world. Now, last year, Korean ramyeon exports surpassed $1.5 billion for the first time. Now, Walter, can you believe that in just 3 years, exports of ramyeon, the volume actually almost doubled?
That's truly incredible, but I can really understand why. And actually this year, what's quite interesting is that the word ramyeon was actually put into the English Oxford Dictionary or the Oxford English Dictionary. So it really feels like this is a food that's taking over the world these days.
It is. And I feel like K-contents such as K-pop Demon Hunters, where Huntrix devours ramyeon, is actually going to lead to an even greater interest into ramyeon. So obviously today's K-food topic is ramyeon. And our cooking content creator Matthew joins us for more. Welcome back, Matthew.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello, guys. Nice to see you again. It's been a long time, right? These days, the weather in Korea is so good, so
Right.
yeah, I feel like going to Hangang Park and having ramen like almost every day, which is like the
Exactly.
very big part of Korean culture. So
Right, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. And
Very
so
happy.
we're actually going to talk about that as well in a bit, about where to eat ramyeon, such as at Hangang River. But first and foremost, let's talk about the global popularity
Right.
rising. So, Matthew, personally, when did you really feel like the level of popularity for K-ramyeon has grown so exponentially?
So since I was for a long time in Korea, since I was very young, like I always liked it, but I felt a little bit like I wish it's more famous all around the world. But I think during the COVID pandemic, it became very popular because like everyone stays at home, we watching YouTube and we watching TikTok. So like everyone making some like kind of a challenge challenges to eat ramyeon or like mix it with each other. But I think that was the period that became, that the ramyeon, K-ramyeon became very famous. And after, I think, also like K-pop idols or K-dramas, they started like, you know, eating K-ramyeon on live streams. So I think that was the starting point that went very famous all around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier Walter mentioned BTSnomics, but also BTS's love for ramen, for instance, went viral as well, which also led to a bigger interest.
Right. They also make the recipes. Right. So like all BTS fans, they are trying to kind of follow the recipe, which is very, you know, it makes very viral. So.
Exactly.
Talking about like recipes, you're a person who has, you know, your content is mainly cooking, and you've actually created a lot of different ramyeon sort of dishes or related content.
Right.
Now, in your opinion, what is the biggest appeal of K-ramyeon, and how does it differ from, let's say instant noodles that we see in the Western countries or other countries as well, from, you know, just other countries in general?
I think also like the packaging part is very appealing when you go to the supermarket or even the convenience store, but like the flavor itself is like spicy, very savory, the rich flavor, and it feels very addictive. Once you try it, you have to finish the whole bowl. So I think that's the main part. But also there's many kinds of Korean ramen. So you can choose the one with the hot soup, mild, spicy, not spicy, very spicy. You can make a challenge with that. You can like do the cross recipe with some other ingredients. So I think that's the very big part, the fun part of eating K-ramen.
Right. Then,
so, yeah.
Matthew, what's your personal favorite then among those?
I think it depends on the day. Like if it's rainy, we feel like eating something like kind of kalguksu kind of thing. Like the broth, it's very deep taste with the seafood, but you can also cross it with other things. But like you can also choose like I like jajang ramen, which is very popular. If you don't feel like to eat something spicy, you can just eat it with like green onion kimchi or like fry some samgyeopsal and eat it together, so it feels very nice.
It does sound delicious indeed. Now, when I was a content creator, I also got on the spicy ramyeon challenge. It was very popular, and for me, I actually suffered quite a lot. I was crying and I was coughing, and it was not a good look. But among all the ramyeon like that you've tried, especially around the spicy side, what was the most, you know, high level of intenseness that you've experienced, and how would you rate your own spice, let's say, tolerance?
I think my own tolerance for spicy ramen or other foods, it's, I think, higher than average. But like those, like all the new products these days on the market, they feel like at first when you try it, it feels okay. But when the time goes, it's like making you sweat, and like it's so spicy. So like I'm not very good yet with those, but it's just fun to make a challenge. So.
But I think if you can eat the original ramyeon, I think that already says it all. You have a tolerance above the average.
Right, because the standard level of spiciness in Korea, it's pretty spicy for foreign people too.
Right.
So like for me, it feels, oh, it's not spicy. We would say like, oh, you try, 안 맵다. Like we always say like, it's not spicy, but for foreign people, it feels spicy.
Right.
Just the standard level, so yeah.
So foreigners might have to put a little less of the soup powder inside the ramen, for instance. And speaking of which, everyone seems to have their own unique way of cooking ramen, like when to add your soup, or whether you add the noodles first or the powder first, and also how much of water is needed to have the perfect ramen. So do you have your own kind of ramen cooking philosophy?
I think I put the soup first. So after you put the noodles, it makes the flavor of the noodles itself like deeper taste. But if you like more spicy or more deeper taste flavory, I think you should use a little bit less water. But you can also cross it with like some eggs, or you can put some green onions. You can put minced garlic, so it makes it like feels more like a dish than just a ramyeon. So it's very fun to play with the ramyeon. You don't have to always stick to the recipe. You can just you can just play with it. So it's very nice.
Well, speaking about recipes, do you have any ramen recipes that you yourself make often? And if so, could you maybe share any particular creative or unique ramen recipes with us?
I think I like to use just the slice of the cheese on top at the end, because it makes it more like rich taste, and the soup feels creamy, and like the spiciness brings a little bit low. So I think that's for those who cannot like handle spicy a lot. But I think I like just the standard one when we put green onions, eggs, or like just minced garlic, because it feels very like K-ramen. Yeah.
And I have one recipe to add there. What I like to eat sometimes is uyu ramen, which means milk ramen, where you pour in some milk inside the original ramen. Then you have that creamy texture, but it's still spicy. So that's maybe another thing that viewers could maybe try out. But let's now talk about some of the best places to eat ramen. You earlier mentioned it, Matthew. The weather is great. It's great to have ramen at Hangang River. So tell us more about that and maybe some other locations or situations.
I think during living in Korea, the ramen, even if you eat the same ramen, like it differs what place or what weather, what time you're eating. But like usually we feel like if we go for hiking, which is Dingsan, right? Or Hangang Gongwon, which is like Han River Park. Or like if it's rainy or sunny, because if it's rainy, we stick to the hot broth. But if it's sunny and hot, we stick to the cold noodle, which we cross with other like cold eggs, or we put some cucumber on top. So I think in Korea, like Korean people, they like to experiment with the food, like with the ramen. So it's not just like the simple kind of snack. It feels like a culture for me. So it's very nice.
And also, I just saw in the video that you actually have your own ramen making machine, and that is something that you use at Hangang River. It's very easy to cook your ramen with those machines, right?
Yeah, usually if you go to the Han River, all those convenience stores, they have like so many of the cooking machines. So you just put on the paper bowl on top, and then you just put ramen soup, and it cooks by itself in like 3 minutes. You can also have eggs, and then it's the fun part. Like Korean convenience stores, they have many toppings that you can get, and you can just make your own recipe at the place.
How cool is that?
Right, and we were talking about seasonal changes when it comes to ramen, right? Like you mentioned, some prefer a certain, let's say, heatness in maybe the colder seasons. Some prefer in the summer to have what we call bibim ramen as well, which is like a cold style noodle.
Right.
That's become especially popular these days as well. Now, what was your first impression when trying these seasonal styles?
Like at first, it felt kind of unusual because I was like associated with the hot soup ramen. But after you trying it in hot weather, like the taste of the cold noodles, it feels very chewy, and the sauce, which is yangnyeom, right? It's spicy but sweet at the same time, so it feels very appealing for cold weather, which is very, very nice, yeah.
And Matthew, before we let you go, these days there are also some experiential spaces where people can experience K-ramen, the varieties, such as even a ramen museum, I heard. So could you tell us more about those? And do you have some tips for foreigners who want to visit those places?
Even my sister, sometimes she send me like some kind of links on TikTok or Instagram, but it feels kind of nice to see this and to like let people know, get to know, like they have ramyeon 편의점, we say, the convenience store for the ramen, which you go, and then not only the viral ramyeon, they have like many hidden ones or the seasonal ones, which is very good experience if you visit Korea. And I heard they have many becoming like kind of viral all around the world. So if you come to Korea, I think you should try to experience that because they have like many of these days. So it feels very nice experience.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Matthew, for that today. I can't wait for next time and looking forward to which kind of K-food we're going to explore into. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to see you back here very soon.
See you very soon.
Thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.